Welcome back, everyone. We're here today once again with a brand new Cabral concept every day of the week, Monday through Sunday, Sunday through Monday, however you like to look at it. And on the weekends, we answer your questions every single week for now 6 years on the Cabral concept. These are called our Cabral HouseCalls. My opportunity to come into your home, be able to sit down just for a couple minutes and answer your most pressing question. So I always have to give the disclaimer that there's no medical advice given out here on this podcast or any podcast. No medical advice, no cures, no medical treatment-based plans or protocols. But having said all that, what we can do is we can share with you the absolute best place to get started, what you may be missing, and also obviously an alternative second opinion. So let's get right into it. Let's answer some questions. First question today, and we always just go in the order they come in. So this one came in January 4th, and yes, it is February 19th. February 19th answering this question. So let's get started. First question is from Anonymous, and it says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. First, I would like to thank you for everything you do. You've educated me so much and changed my life for the better. Thank you, Anonymous. I have a 3-year-old daughter who is diagnosed with febrile seizures at the age of 2. If she catches a virus or infection at school, which is very common, and gets a fever despite quickly, she can have a febrile seizure. Fevers are low as 101. While terrifying, they are happening. We've been told around 5% of children have this condition, and they typically go away around 5 or 6. Nothing they can do about it. The pediatrician and neurologist have told us this. When these fevers occur, we spend 1 to 2 days constantly giving her Tylenol and Motrin to bring the fever down. We are constantly testing the temperature, and if it gets above 99, it causes us great anxiety that there will be a seizure coming. I'm looking for the root causes that there could be from preventing this in the future instead of constantly pumping her with drugs. Basically, if this was your daughter, what would you do? Based on what you've learned from you, there has to be a root cause of some type." Okay, so happy to help you. And I do agree that there's always a root cause. So I never want to have what I say be misconstrued. And I'm not saying that you're doing this anonymous. So I do believe that genetics matter. So meaning like, I know that if my body's out of balance, my joints, small joints in my thumb hurt, right? That's rheumatoid arthritis. That's the start of it. I know that I'm more prone to mitochondrial issues and fatigue issues, with Addisons disease and the adrenals, of course. I know that I'm more prone to allergies and histamine issues. I know I'm more prone to all sorts of different issues. Now, I don't have any of those, but what I'm saying is my body does lean there, right? So it leans there. So it is important to know your body. Now, one thing I do want to say is that it's not well understood why there would be such a thing as febrile, typically it's pronounced, fevers in young children. And then the good news is, yes, most kids do usually grow out of it. What I'd like to say is that there can be an imbalance in terms of gut imbalances, as well as omega-3s. Those are my first 2 places I look. Now, it could be many different things. There's no doubt about it. But my main 2 things are looking at gut function overall and good levels of inflammation in the body. Now, you can test these, of course. You could do a simple urine test, right? The starter kit, which give you heavy metals and electrolytes, which would be good to look at those. You could look for high copper. That would be good too. So I would run the starter kit, little hair test, little bit of urine sample, super easy. And then you can run the omega-3, which is a finger prick for blood. But if you don't want to do blood from your child, again, it's just a couple finger pricks. One finger prick. I do it for my daughters for food sensitivity testing and their omega-3s. You could do that. If not, you could just give like a 1/4 of a teaspoon of the liquid omega-3. That would be very easy to do for a 4-year-old. But again, I'm not giving you any medical treatment plans. That's where we get started. I really would. I would look at the gut. You could certainly do a bacteria and parasite stool test. It's not invasive, but you would be taking a stool sample for 3 days. That's much more comprehensive. But these are all things that I think would give you some really good intel. I really do. Now, would they fix the seizures? I don't know. I don't know, but you'd certainly learn a lot in the process with your daughter. You'd be working on some things. And I see no harm, which is always what I'm trying to do. Do no harm, right? So I wish you all the best. I don't think that you're doing a bad job at all. I think you're doing what any parent would do. I think you're doing a great job, and I would just go deeper. That's all. And all these labs that I talk about are at stevencabral.com/labs. Victoria is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I tend to eat lots of raw nuts like almonds and seeds. I'm very active, and it doesn't make me fat, I eat very healthy, no sugar, take all the vitamins from your practice, but I'm wondering if there is something I'm missing. Thank you. Okay. Well, Victoria, it's a great question. I have no idea. I have no idea what you're missing because from this, I only know that you eat a lot of almonds and seeds and you eat healthy with no sugar and you take a lot of vitamins, which is, again, it could be fantastic, right? You could be the best ever. And again, all kidding aside, what I'm saying is that the only way that you could say it or I could say it is to run the big five, right? That's the only way. We look at then your food sensitivities, your vitamin levels, your mineral levels. We look at your omega-3 levels. We look at your heavy metals. That's the only way we can tell. And if the big five is out of the price range, totally understand, I would run the starter kit. And the starter kit still looks at all your vitamin levels, vitamin and mineral levels, heavy metals, gut function, etc. And that'll really tell you, all right? So that's the way. Again, anybody who tells you otherwise is just guessing. Again, if you looked at me when I was 17, I looked like I was healthy. I looked, except for my huge swollen glands. But obviously, if you looked on the inside or just talked with me, you knew I was very, very sick. So I don't want to just go by the outside. All right, a new anonymous is up. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I want to get your thoughts on how to effectively identify the root cause of high uric acid. I had a uric acid level over 10, made some lifestyle changes, lost 50 pounds, reduced alcohol, taking tart cherry extract. I was only able to reduce it to 9.6, so my doctor put me on a specific medication. And since I have had gout one time, it should test below 6 to avoid future attacks. He told me sometimes the medication is the only thing that can keep it below 6 due to genetic predisposition. I wanted to get your thoughts. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to help you with this. We see this, quite a bit in the practice, hundreds of times. And we want to look at kidney function. I'm sure that you probably know this, but we still want to look at kidney function. We want to look at digestion. It's oftentimes poor protein digestion. We want to look at the level of good bacteria in the gut. Your doctor will most likely never tell you, but there are 3 different types of bacteria in your gut that help your body break down urea before it ever makes its way to the kidneys. So there are certain types of kidney bacteria, as they call it, even though the bacteria is in your gut. And then we'll want to look at your overall omega-3s, but not overdoing omega-3s, especially just, if someone's prone to having gout, then, you have to be careful with the different types of fish that you eat. So overall protein, kidney function, gut bacteria, hydration levels, all of this we would look at. So that's what we would do. So it's not dissimilar to Victoria, but we'd want to know what that looks like. The big five is always warranted. It's always warranted. I do that every year myself. But again, if not, I'm just kind of rolling through all these ideas in my head, and I would do the starter kit. Yeah, 100%. I would do the same thing that I mentioned above. The starter kit is not watered down. It just doesn't include the omega-3 testing, the food sensitivity testing, or all the hormones-based testing. But it does look at all your vitamin levels, all your mineral levels, and it looks at digestion as well. So it's a great lab. So I would definitely do that. You did a lot of the right things. So I want to commend you. You lost 50 pounds, reduced alcohol. I don't know if you reduced your high uric acid type foods, the foods that would be more likely to lead to gout. But we don't make people do that. We do initially because we certainly don't want them to have the symptoms. But after that, we just basically look at, okay, which ones are the most offending? We don't eat those too much, but for the most part, there's a lot of great ones that you can do. All right. Thank you, Anonymous. Trevor's up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, sir. My name is Trevor, and I'm one of your IHP students currently healing my body. I was just told I need to put in a lift in my shoe due to hip displacement, and I believe it to be the length of my legs. I did fracture my growth plate in my ankle when I was 17. I'm now 32. Is there any way for my body to heal back to normal and not need the lift? Thank you very much. Okay, this is a great question. And again, I always give you my best perspective. And I would say that if your bones have formed because of an injury to the degree where one leg is a half an inch shorter than the other, then what I would say is you probably do need the lift, okay? However, there are many people with a diagnosed one leg shorter than the other that has to do with tight, imbalanced muscles. The quadratus laborum, which most people have never heard about, can get very tight in the lower back. the hamstrings, most people have heard of those, the glutes, the soleus, all can shorten that leg. All right, you can pull it up higher on one side. Hip flexors, I forgot to mention the hip flexors, the psoas, right? So no way for me to be able to tell you, right, from over here, maybe thousands of miles away. What I can tell you is this: go to see a really good chiropractor that does active release therapy and Graston, and that's so that they can work on your leg without necessarily adjustments, but actually lengthening the leg. Now, once they lengthen those muscles to the greatest degree and give you some exercise to work on, if you still have the issue, well, then it could be because one leg is actually shorter than the other in terms of bone, not just muscle. And I think that would be your best bet, okay? Because, yeah, 100%, that's your best bet. Okay. Sage is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm very health conscious and I try to eat clean and organic food most of the time. To my horror, I discovered, that the supplement that I've been using for a few months contained titanium dioxide, which is apparently unsafe and can cause cancer. Do you know if this is correct? It's said to be accumulated in the body tissues, and I really want to get it out of my body ASAP. What would be the best way to do this? Thanks so much for your help. Love your podcast. Keep up the amazing work. Sage, totally understand what you're saying. A lot of nutritional supplements are made with titanium dioxide, not because they want to poison you, I really believe this, but because they need to enable all of the ingredients in that supplement to be even and not get all bound up. So that when you, like, if you ever think about it, okay, you've got, let's just say something like our daily activated multivitamin. You've got 120 capsules. You take 4 a day because it's a legitimate daily activated multi. Can't get that in one vitamin, you know? So, but the interesting thing is, how do you get all of those nutrients essentially exactly the same in every single capsule? Well, the way that you do it is through mixing and using obviously a healthy way of doing that in order for it to be layered evenly. So a lot of companies use titanium dioxide. At Equilife, we made a pledge to essentially remove that from any of the products. And we'll use things like magnesium, organic rice. We'll use New Flow, which is organic rice as well, those types of things instead. So you'll still see it in some products. The thing is, I do agree with you that you don't want it in there. You know, you really don't. But what I would say is do your functional medicine detoxes, meaning do your 7, 14, or 21-day detox, lots of water, continue to eat well, saunas when you can. And I don't think it's as big of a worry as I believe that you may think it is right now. And the reason is that we're talking about microscopic dosages, like tiny amounts in the supplement. Now, I'm not saying you want to take in a lot. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that I would continue to do the right thing. I think you're going to do a functional medicine detox. You'll probably be sweating, drinking a lot of water, eating lots of cruciferous vegetables, and I think that you'll be just fine. All right? Thank you, Sage. Molly is our last question of the day. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I have an important question for you. I've been a vegan for about 10 years, and I'll be honest, I'm doing it more for my health benefits rather than the ethical environmental ones. Lately, I've been thinking about maybe adding fish or eggs to my diet in order to boost the omega-3, choline, B12, and other nutrients naturally, rather than using the supplements. It's really difficult to make this decision, though, as being vegan has become a bit of an identity for me, and I built a business and some great relationships because of it. I'm afraid of losing that if no longer considered vegan. In your professional opinion, what would you advise? Staying fully vegan or adding fish, eggs once a week? I know it's a difficult question, but my health is very important to me, and there are a few people I trust more than you when it comes to your health advice. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, and I'm grateful for all you do, Molly. Molly, thank you so much, and I appreciate you trusting me to give you this opinion. So I've done a lot of research on this. I really have. I've been vegan at 3 different points in my life, meaning fully vegan. It was easy when I was overseas doing internships. One of those times lasted for a little over 6 months as a vegan. Now you might say, oh, it's not that much. But, you know, like, again, I was doing it for health reasons. I was doing it for conscientious-based reasons, etc. But at the end of the day, what I've realized is that people make a vegan diet work. And I'm not saying that this in any negative way, because many of my friends and colleagues are vegan, and I fully support them, and I fully support any type of a plant-based lifestyle. I'm predominantly plant-based, meaning that I don't eat anything except vegan plant-based foods until dinner. And then at dinner, I either have fish or chicken or some other type of paleo-based protein. And that works best for my body. I made a decision that I was going to do what is best for my health and my body. My body is stronger, it's healthier, I have more energy, and I recover faster when I have a little bit of non-plant-based protein in my diet. Now, you could be listening to this and you could be saying, that's not true, whatever it is. It's true for me, okay? And so if what's true for you is that a vegan-based diet is serving you the best way possible, then stick with it. But if you feel, and I think that you could do this quietly, adding in fish once a week, eggs once a week, and if you felt better doing this, at the end of the day, I think we need to be careful with what we identify as. Meaning, I identify as someone who's trying to be of the greatest service as possible to the best of my ability to other people. And some people might not like me saying that it's okay not to follow the vegan lifestyle. And I understand that. And I actually have people that are a little upset about that. But at the same time, I fully support them. If they're healthy, I fully support them. I know people on a vegan diet right now, and some of them are pretty well known, and they are not healthy individuals. We'll leave it at that, okay? And some people are on vegan diets, and they're very healthy. Some of it has to do with body type. Some of it has to do with how you're going into it, et cetera. But anyway, I believe in doing what the best is for your health. And part of that is mental emotional. So if you feel that being vegan is best for you because it's best for the planet or animals, et cetera, then I understand that. And that very well may be the best for you. But I take into account all forms of health, and mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, they all matter. And I don't think that we should force ourselves to eat or live a certain way because we need to live up to someone else's standard. And Molly, right now you're living up to someone else's standard. That's the bottom line, right? So don't live up to anybody else's standard. Do what's best for you. As far as I know, we get one life. Live it to the best of your ability. Try to be of service of others. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into today's show. That's it, but we'll be back tomorrow answering more of your questions. Thanks so much. Hope you have an amazing weekend.